Hello everyone, greetings from Pakistan.
I'm Rachel Hertz from Israel.
Hi, my name is Aljaž. I come from Slovenia.
I am Doris Fatima Weber.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabella Parrotta, and I am a program coordinator at MCID Washington, where I help implement the International Visitor Leadership Program, or IVLP, which is the U.S. Department of State's premier professional exchange program. I'm joined today by Ms. Candice Andrews from Trinidad and Tobago. She is MCID Washington's Country of the Month feature for August. Candice, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Isabella. And I'm so happy that you pronounce the country correct, because most people say Trinidad and Tobago, but it's okay. We welcome it still. It's really nice to be here with you.
Wonderful. Yes, Candice is a community liaison and drama practitioner at Drama Making a Difference, which is an NGO in Trinidad and Tobago that helps support community resilience through the arts, particularly theater and filmmaking. Candice is also a producer and television host at VETN Network in Trinidad and Tobago, and she participated in an IVLP program on strengthening practices for gender-based violence activists. So the first thing that I'd like to ask you, Candice, is if you could please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your profession and all of the wonderful work that you're doing.
Sure. Thank you so much. And thank you for the program. It has been really a blessing and pushing me and my work further and forward. So my name is Candice Marie Andrews. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. So for persons who don't know, it's a twin island republic. So I'm from the bigger sister isle, which is Trinidad, and I am from South Trinidad. It is said that we are the warmest set of persons, but it's still debated. I love people, I love theater, and I love using the both of them, incorporating them for advocacy, raising awareness, and just making persons become better versions of themselves. That has been buzzed, especially in the pandemic, and I've been recognizing ways to do so virtually. Recently, I rebranded myself as an online event host because most of the work in theater has been paused for a while because of the theater house being closed, or we had to pause because we are in a lockdown in Trinidad, and different changes and adjustments need to be made, but we are still serving our community, and for that I am happy. Additionally, I am the first girl of 5 children. So that makes me second mother. So I have a lot of responsibilities at home, but I really adore the support and love that I've been getting from my family, especially because they see my passion for women and girls development and their holistic wealth and well-being. It's something that they have decided to support me on. It's not an easy journey. There are a lot of challenges, but programs like these and other initiatives really encourage me to do more, because when you know more, you should do more. That's my motto. So it's really nice to be here with you. And I'm also a member of the MAD company. It stands for Drama Making a Difference. And our slogan is, if I can help someone along the way, then my living shall not be in vain. And we seek to stimulate thought and provoke change. So it's really an amazing journey, and we have a very unique style of getting audience members to become part of the narrative on stage. So they are now spectator actors, and they join in to help the solution, because that is what we are basically about, and it's been an amazing adventure so far.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing. How did you sort of come into this field of work? Did you always know you wanted to go into community development and NGOs and theater, or was it something that happened later?
I had no clue, but I come from a family where community is very important to us. There's a quick story. When I was probably a teenager, or right under 10 going into 11.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother saying, our house is the community center because all the neighborhood children would come at our home. We were the first home to get Nintendo 64 and everybody will come and we eat and my mom will make sure everybody is fed. So I grew up with this sense of community. I grew up with this sense of, looking out for your neighbor. But I never saw myself doing community work. I never saw myself being a volunteer. I never saw myself being immersed in the streets and in persons' homes and getting so intimate with them in terms of what are their struggles and their challenges. But what was really interesting is the Mad Company is really a theater-based company, and there was this beautiful opportunity where we got this chance to work with a group of young women from a rural community. And I believe that is what birthed our advocacy and community vein, because it was really amazing. I can't really explain how it impacted my life. And I remember I got a phone call one day, Candice, could you come for a meeting? We're going to speak with the donors and funders and they need to meet you. So I just, grabbed something quick, looked pretty and, showed up, make sure I was looking crisp and clean. And they said, Candice, we want to make you one of the lead for the projects. And the project is called She Is. And, it's found on YouTube and persons could go and check that out. And from then I said, that was it. I need to be in this work. And then in 2018, a friend of mine said, Candice, you need to sign up for this US fellowship. It's called Community Solutions Program with the IRX. And I said, no, I am not, that kind of imposter syndrome comes in. And I said, no, this is not for me. So many other persons have been doing this work for longer than I have been. And he said, no, just apply. I kid you not. After applying, I got through the first round, second round. And before I knew it, I was in the US of A for the first time in my life.
Oh, wow.
Learning about how to engage with different communities across different cultures and working on Broadway and how to talk with immigrant communities, how to talk with marginalized communities. And it just was a big surprise and roller coaster for me, but I would never leave this work. I'll never replace it for anything else because it's at the core of who I am. I'm really a connector. I'm really a compassionate person. And the community is who contributed to raising me because I lost my father when I was 9 going on 10. And everyone sort of pitched in to make sure that I was, supported and served. And it's just my way of giving back and saying, yes, this is where I'm meant to be.
Wow. No, that is an amazing and inspiring path to what you're doing. And I'm sure everything is well-deserved, Candice. You deserve to participate in that program.
Why, thank you.
With the IVLP. So bringing it back to your IVLP experience, you recently participated in a virtual IVLP, which is another professional exchange program about building bridges and opening communications and expanding networks. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience? Like if you had a favorite moment during your virtual IVLP experience?
There was one moment, I believe it was the last session, I got really emotional because I felt like I was now getting into the work, into unpacking. And even though it was a virtual experience, and of course I would have loved to be in the US and visit all these great amazing locations, but I felt so connected with everyone in the space. I became really vulnerable and I shared my story in terms of, this whole idea of how the domestic violence affect me personally and my family members. And I started to cry and everyone was just glued in. And that moment when you wish you could pause Zoom and just escape through the back door. But it was such a safe space that I really felt open, and it was a healing moment for me because I think a lot of persons who know of persons who have gone through domestic violence, who have gone through some intimate partner abuse. They are somewhat afraid to speak boldly about it because they'll be judged. But I believe as a advocate and a survivor of witnessing these experiences, I think it's really important for us to use our voice in a dual way, from the advocacy voice and from the victim survivor voice, and bring everything together. And I believe the program itself gave me a framework to make sense of what I was experiencing and the work I've been doing all along. So to be honest, it's hard to pinpoint which session stood out to me. I think each session was like Lego blocks building for me as I went along. And I really enjoyed this particular session where we learned that you could create various ways of engaging with your audiences through flashcards, through conversations, moderated conversations. And that was really important to me because knowing your community wants to know that you have the solution. They don't want to know that, okay, you are trying to figure it out just like they are. They want to know that you are able to show up and serve and provide a solution. And the program did that for me. It gave me frameworks, it gave me information, contacts, and this wider access to the globe, understanding that there's work similar to what I do, but there are different forms and ways of doing it. So I think in a nutshell, I want to repeat, to be honest. Yeah, so it was amazing. I really appreciate it. And I got connected with a lot of other persons who did the program within my own country. And now there's this sense of solidarity, there's a sense of binding together and movement. And yeah, I tell people, don't panic in a pandemic, just partner and collaborate. And that's the new ethos that is happening on the ground right now in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wonderful. Well, yes, continuing inspiring words. And I'm so glad to hear that even if though it was virtual, and we would have loved to host you in the US, I'm glad to hear that it was a really important and fruitful experience for you to participate in IVLP. Going off, you brought up COVID. How has COVID and the pandemic and its ramifications impacted you and your work specifically?
Right. So I am an extrovert, as you can tell. And I really love the human-to-human connection. I love when we go into a community, you could get a hug from a young woman and have her whisper in your ear, I have your story. We share the same story. And I really miss that, to be quite honest. But what I do, I sort of immerse myself into serving more and showing up more online. So that has helped me. But emotionally and physically, I miss that because those are my love languages, quality time and words of affirmation. And I get that when I'm in the community doing the work. On the flip side of that, it's allowed Drama Making a Difference, the MAD company, to go virtual, which we've never thought of ever before. And going virtual challenged us because imagine trying to do theater that was meant for stage to be on screen. So moving from stage to screen was very challenging. However, thank God, we were able to find different ways to maneuver the technology. And, this whole access to everyone is gluing and zooming right now. So I was able to come up with a business out of this whole thing because I believe in being self-sufficient. When you have more funds, you can make more impact. So my motto is making the income so I can make greater impact. Yeah. So recently I've been helping a lot of small businesses and NGOs through training workshops online, teaching them how to be confident on screen, how to be able to develop their content and package it so that it can be easily translatable on screen as well. That has been very exciting. A couple of NGOs reached out to ZMAD for training, for workshops. Actually, tomorrow we have a workshop with, I don't even know, probably 200 youths And
Wow.
I know it's going to be crazy, but challenge accepted. And so while we miss serving in the physical, we are now serving in the virtual and learning how we can overcome these challenges so that our work is not at a pause. So we continue the work, but through virtual, and hopefully things open back up so we could probably have a blended experience going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, great to hear. I'm glad that the transition to virtual, like you said, it was hard, but, obviously seems to be working really well and helping a larger audience. So fantastic. I guess one last question that I have, because our Country of the Month feature, we obviously love to feature our IVLP alumni, but also we like to shed a little bit of light on the countries that they're from. What would you like to share about your country, Trinidad and Tobago, as it relates to something that you think maybe visitors or Americans don't know, or that, what would you like to share with them?
Wow, interesting question. So I knew you were going to ask me about my country. I just didn't know what slant. So I decided to wear this colorful dress because this is what Trinidad is about. We are a vibrant, colorful people. We stand out in any crowd. When I went to the US, I was just like really bubbly and excited, just as I am right now. And the facilitator said, I know where you're from. You're from Trinidad and Tobago. We have fellows coming from there all the time, and they stand out. I think we have a very unique culture because we have a lot of blends. We have Spanish, Indian, African, some Chinese influence. And it's really, really interesting the way we express ourselves through of course, our language. People love to say we have an accent that is like a song. It's sing-song, they say. And we have a very creative way of expressing ourselves through music, through dance, through the art form. And I think one thing about Trinidad, of course, we love to boast that we have the biggest show on earth, which is our carnival.
Mm-hmm.
But coming out of that, I believe Trimbagonians, as we like to call ourselves, we're very warm, we're very embracive, and we're very inclusive. And I think those are the characteristics persons need to develop coming out of the pandemic and transforming into what we call the new normal. So yes, I love my culture. I'm really, really happy that I have this opportunity to taste this variety of food and not be limited to anything. And I think one main particular thing about our country, our people are very resilient. We go through situations and then we bounce back really easily. We might go on party, we might go and visit a friend, we might have some sort of gathering. Now we can't gather. But I believe we are very resilient people, and we represent and we are very grateful people. So yeah, I hope I represented my country well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Trump for Trinidad and Tobago, but I think any country would be proud to have the description that you just gave. So, yeah, the Caribbean is amazing. I may be biased because I grew up in the Caribbean, but there's really no region like it in the world. So.
Yeah. Sun, sea, and sun, we like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, the melding of so many different cultures and perspectives all in one place, and the compassion and tolerance that promotes, it's really something special. So, well, thank you once again, Candice, for joining us, and thank you for participating in this interview.
Thank you so much, and I really hope I could pack 2 suitcases somewhere and you all could give me a call and say, Candice, come and do a workshop with us, come and visit us. That'll be good. But if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, I'm just really thankful for the opportunity. And I know we have like a long life relationship with you all. And I just want to wish you all the best in your work. And feel free to reach out to Drama Making a Difference NGO at any time if you need us to do anything. And yeah, I'm really excited and happy that Trinidad and Tobago actually have some persons in the Olympics. So yeah.
Maybe
So
really, place.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, really proud and happy of the red, white, and black. And yeah, follow us on Instagram at The Mad Company. Follow me on Instagram at Candice Andrews, and let's continue the conversation about advocacy, raising awareness, and how we can better serve humanity even in the virtual space.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much, Candice. Inspiring words. And if you are ever in Washington, D.C., whether on a professional exchange program or not, please let the MCID Washington office know. We would love to give you a tour of Washington, D.C. and welcome you.
I would love that with a nice selfie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was fun, and God bless you all and keep up the good work.
Wonderful. Thank you. You as well.